post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home. Every bit of kindness counts. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essig.
It's turned around.
Oh, all right.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my bearings. Jeff's guys.
There we go.
Oh, shoot. I was going to take a picture.
All right. Welcome in to the Fitness Fanatics. If you were watching on the stream, I was trying to figure out where my right ear wasn't working. Oh, and we're watching on studio. So it was turned upside down like this. And I was like, I can't hear myself. Why is it?
You were looking at me pointing at your headset. Like, what's going on? It's broken, man.
All right. So
That's
we're flipping back over.
Not a reason to watch the stream just for moments like that.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen.
Oh, my gosh. That was funny.
Well, it is Memorial Day weekend here everywhere in the country. I was gonna say in Lincoln, Nebraska, but it's Memorial Day weekend. A lot of people have a 3-day weekend here. It's also graduation weekend here in Lincoln. So
shout out Lizzie. She's on Bigger Than the Score. She's graduating here today at PBA. So.
Yeah. If you have any cool graduation stories you want to text in, 402-464-5685. We'd love to hear them. We'd love to know if you're listening here this morning with us. We got a guest coming in here at the top of the hour. In an hour at the 10 o'clock hour, one of our Farrell's members, Jeremy the Grill Master, as he is known on the Ticket text wave line. So he'll be in the last hour talking about his journey over the last 7 weeks. But we're going to chat a little bit. This is coming up on a pretty fitness month for us.
Yeah.
Nicole wasn't in last week. I was joined in studio by Des Moines Adams, which is an awesome show. So if you missed that show, you can always check us out on our podcast at theticketfm.com. But before we get started, I want to just give a shout out to our sponsor, Integrative Life Choices. So we are sponsored by Integrative Life Choices. ILC is hiring direct support professionals all over the state of Nebraska, full-time, part-time days, evenings, and weekends. People can apply at ilc.net/careers. Direct support professionals work to ensure a meaningful life for the people they support. They work to support people in achieving their hopes and dreams. So big shout out to Integrative Life Choices. Becky Moratsky, one of our instructors and Farrell's members. She's kind of one of the big wigs out there, as I like to call her.
Mm-hmm.
So we appreciate them and everything they do for our show. So again, any cool graduation stories, or if you're listening out there and you have any kids graduating this weekend, hit us up on the text line, 402-464-5685. We'd love to hear from you. My graduation was 1996, long time ago, 27 years now. Would this be my 27 year graduating? What do I remember from it? I mean, not a lot, really. We were talking about graduation parties. Like, you were asking me about my graduation party, and I just invited friends and family over. I don't think it was a big deal. I don't remember inviting any teachers.
Just play it cool.
I thought that was kind of interesting. Like the kids now, like Peter, who was just on, he has like all these graduations to go to. Brandy Benson, who's a teacher, I have like 9 graduations to go to. I don't remember ever inviting a teacher to my graduation party.
I invited coaches, I remember, and not teachers though, only coaches, I think, for the most part.
Maybe I just didn't have a teacher that I liked, or I don't know if we even did that back then.
Well, how big was your graduating class?
90
Small.
kids.
Okay,
Small.
So mine was small too. I was gonna say if it's a huge class, that makes sense. But I mean,
I
90
think it
kids
would make more sense if it was a small class.
Yeah, so that's what I said. It makes sense for me to have, because it's a lot more personal level. It's like, graduating. We were a big class too. Big class, 40
for
kids.
your school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
So you got a lot more closer connection. So I can see in that part. But yeah, the bigger student bodies, I'm not sure. I suppose if you have that connection, it is what it is. But before we get going here, you talked about it earlier. I do recommend listening to last week's podcast after you finish this one. But no, here in Des Moines Adams, I just get a kick out of how we got him at Nebraska. Is like we had $150 football camp.
I know. That's awesome.
And that's what sold him.
Yes.
I thought that was incredible.
And
But
the rest
definitely
is
check that
history.
out at ticketfm.com in case you missed it last week. But listen to this one first, obviously, as we're going all the way up until 11 o'clock. And again, you guys want to watch the show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Great way to put a face to the voice, as well as you can chime in on the Starter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685. Tons of ways to engage the show.
So last week, Nicole was out. She was out doing the Prairie to Prairie. So how did that go for you and the Farrell's team that we had put together?
It was really fun. So it was the second year for this race, and it's put on by Lincoln Parks and Rec, and I would really recommend people look into it again next year. I really want to help it grow next year because it's a really fun, like, I don't know if you would technically call it a duathlon, but you can do it as teams. So it starts out at Pioneers Park, and we ran a 5K at Pioneers Park. So we had a 3-person team. But Laura and I, we both did the running part. You could do a 3-person team where one person runs, the second person bike rides, and then the third person runs. You could do one person could do all of it. You could do two people teams where you run, one runs both, and then bikes one. So Laura and Timothy and I from our gym signed up for a 3-person team. Laura and I just did both the 5Ks together because we're running partners. We run together. So we did the 5K out at Pioneers Park. Much better this year because they had it on a trail instead of through the actual prairie. And then Timothy got on his bike and he rides 15 miles on the gravel over to the Spring Creek Audubon Center. I don't know. I should probably look up I always want to say society, but I know that's not right. That's so
Spring Creek Society.
Audubon Society, because that's like a thing too. But it's just a really cool like nature preserve, and that's about 15 miles away from Pioneers Park. And so he rode his bike. It's very hilly and gravelly. And then in the meantime, we drive over to Spring Creek, and then we do the second 5K after that. So it's really fun. That second 5K was super challenging. It's literally through like prairie, and you run up a giant hill, and you have to run along this ridge and then back down a hill, which is just as stressful running downhill as it is running uphill. But shins and calves were pretty sore. It was hot. There was no shade out there, but it was a fun challenge. And then they have a good little kind of celebration afterwards. There's a band out there, like a brewery, and then a couple of food vendors. So it was really fun. I would really recommend it. I mean, the one bad thing is it's kind of early for bike riding. So Timothy had just been to Ireland and did a lot of bike riding there. So he was pretty ready for it. But a 15-mile bike ride on gravel is pretty hard to train for this early. But
yeah, on gravel is tough too.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing. Like if you're used to riding on trails, paved trails, gravel's a little harder, but it was really fun. And we had we had a handful of Farrell's members out there and at different capacities doing the race, but it's just really fun. It's a good challenge. That, like I said, that second 5K, pretty brutal in the sense that it's just hot and but it was the second time we did it. It was fun.
Well, then you get to sit around for, while the bike ride's going on.
Yeah,
So
this time we kind of got around that a little bit. It's not a timed race. So like there's no like pressure, there's no prizes.
Just complete.
Yeah, so there's no timed race. And so Timothy was a little bit worried about getting lost. And so
like,
which he's done it before. He did it last year too, but he was just a little worried. And Laura and I, we did our normal run walk, and we were like in the end of the pack. So there's some really good, fast, like cross country runners that do this race. But again, we are completers, not competers. So we're not worried about that. But so as Timothy was waiting for us, Kaylin and Mike from Farrell's, they had a team too. And so when Kaylin got back and Mike left, Timothy just left with him. Like they left at the same time on the bike. So Laura and I were still on the run course when Timothy left to go on the bike. And then when we got over to Spring Creek, we did the same thing. When Mike came in, then we left with like at the same time as Kaylin to go out on the 5K. So we kind of staggered it a little bit. So none of us had to wait as long. But again, that's only because it's not like a timed competitive race. We wouldn't actually do that if it was like,
and we
not that we were winning, but
we have a history.
I'm a rule follower.
Me and you have a history of getting lost on courses.
Yeah,
so,
mine was not my fault. Yours
How
was
many
your
times
fault.
have you guys gotten lost?
So Nicole got lost doing a triathlon.
This just came up on my memories because it was a week ago. It was
so she got
my
lost,
30th birthday.
but it wasn't her fault.
It wasn't.
Okay.
No. Yeah, I know.
How many other people got lost?
A lot. Other people
Yeah,
did
I
get
don't-
lost.
I don't know if it was
The reason
very well marked.
No, it
up
wasn't.
there.
Okay,
So-
so then you do have
Yes,
somewhat of a
yeah,
reason. If
other
I was
people
saying, if
got
it was
lost.
just you, I was
Yeah.
going to be like, well,
I know.
okay.
So I did my first triathlon when I was 30, and I was training with Team in Training for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And so this was my first triathlon, but it wasn't like the big one that you train for. And so it was my first like real triathlon. And I had blogged that whole process. So like I had a whole 6-month blog about my training to do this big race later in the year. And I just found that and I went back and read it. And so I'm very clear on the details of this
Well,
race.
that's why I brought it up.
I
Because you
know.
always say, "Oh, Jeff got lost
Yeah.
on a marathon." Well, you got lost too.
I did, but so they had the courses marked and you're supposed to follow like an orange arrow for the bike course and a yellow arrow for the run course. And when I got out there, the volunteer told me to go on the wrong one. And then as I'm going, the run volunteers didn't know that they were supposed to be volunteering for the run. So like by the time I got on my bike, none of the runners were coming through. Obviously, that's the last thing you do. You swim, you bike, you run.
Right.
So I was the first person, or the couple people that went out on their bikes were the first people that these volunteers see. So they're like, "Great job." And I'm like, am I going the right way? I should be seeing other bikes. They're like, "Yeah, just follow the arrows." And then it's supposed to be like a 10-mile bike ride. And then within 3 miles, I'm back at the beginning ish. I'm starting to see other bike riders,
So
but like
how far
blocks
did you
away.
bike?
I ended up doing the right. So
Because I remember
luckily-
waiting there for a long time with the kids.
no, I ended up going the right
It was
amount.
a long time.
Yeah, because it was my first triathlon, and the run course was like super like really bad roads. And so I got to the start and I realized what happened. And so then I kind of it was in a town that I was fairly familiar with. And so I just kind of just kept riding and I finally did get onto the bike course. But yeah, in the meantime, word was getting out that I was lost and some people came and found me. But I ended up getting the distance in.
Okay. I didn't know
Unlike
if you did.
you,
Yeah, I was a
who
little
you
short on mine.
technically
I know.
didn't complete that marathon.
And I was like 0.45 short.
You could have just done.
But I couldn't have. I didn't want to.
Yours wasn't your fault either, I don't think, though.
Yeah, I think the people out guiding me, like I was supposed to turn left and I just ran straight. Nobody said, "Hey, where you going, buddy?" I'm out for a run in the middle of nowhere here, just strolling along. So that's probably good that you guys didn't get lost, since we do have a history of getting lost.
Yeah.
But
No, we
not this
didn't.
time. All right,
No,
cool.
no. But your marathon, though, also in your defense, it was a town you're not familiar with, and it was a very small race.
Yeah,
so it's not
small.
like it was Lincoln,
Right.
where like there were people around you all the time when you're
Crowds of
racing.
people to
Right.
follow.
Yeah. So in your defense.
And I was bummed because my first half of that marathon would have been like a PR for me for a half marathon. I was just cruising, felt great, and then just got lost and everything just derailed.
It was in Washington State, and I was doing a
Mhm.
triathlon that day in Iowa, and I had finished it, and we were like out somewhere with my friends, and I get a text message from you, and you're like, "I'm lost," and you're up on this huge high bridge, and then he's like, "I'm supposed to be down here," because he can see people.
I look down and see the runners. But I don't know how to get down there, so I just kind of tried to run to the center of the city, and then I got back on track. But I think I was like 25.7 miles, and it was 26.2.
Yeah,
So
a little short.
my official time was under 5 hours, but it really wasn't 5
right, because
hours.
you didn't go the
Yeah, I know.
the amount of distance.
But anyway,
That's close.
so
I mean, 0.4.
it's not close. It's not good enough.
No,
It
doesn't count.
No, it doesn't count. I mean, I got a medal and everything, but
You still completed
a
it.
fraudulent medal.
Yeah, it was fraudulent.
Did you feel like you had to tell them when you finished?
no, I wasn't. I didn't like
There's no
win
guilt?
any. I
No.
didn't win anything.
Again,
like
yeah.
I wasn't placed or I wasn't trying. And I if they would have looked into it, I missed like the 19-20 mile checkpoint.
That's when you were cruising. You're feeling really good about your run. So
No,
you just...
that was when he was off course.
Oh,
So
okay.
Yeah.
so on marathons and half marathons, there's usually mats you have to cross at certain parts, like at the 5K, the
Right.
10K, and so he was lost during that part. So
Oh,
technically
towards the
he
end.
didn't get like marked at that point. So he probably would have been disqualified if you'd like won something.
We
But
do have a text from the OG CJ, one of our Farrell's 10-week challengers. He said, "Good morning. Looking forward to being back in the gym tomorrow." He's been out of town the last week doing the virtual classes. I know he was on there live with me yesterday for our Saturday morning strength training class. So he might be the first person in the 10-week challenge to be on live at 5 a.m.
for this session.
For this session, yeah.
Maybe.
It's a good attitude to have heading
know.
into Memorial Day.
Yeah, he was on. Yep,
He's
out of
normally
town.
a 4 a.m. or so, 5 a.m. sleeping in.
Yep, sleeping in. But no, out of town, getting it done. So no excuses.
Yep.
For
Do you
CJ.
guys ever have well, probably not you guys, but before you owned a gym, on holidays, was that always a challenge for you guys, still working out and getting things done? Or have you not had a problem with it? Some people, they don't care if it's Easter, they'll get their daily workout in, no problem.
So
I don't
before I
remember.
joined Farrell's, I didn't work out. So
Yeah.
I mean, far back as I can remember, so I wasn't working out on Easter
But
or
when
Thanksgiving.
you joined Farrell's and you didn't own the gym yet, you're just a Farrell's
Oh yeah,
member.
absolutely. We went
Holidays,
and
you
worked
didn't
out.
you didn't skip. You always
Absolutely.
still made it. Okay.
That
absolutely.
is not true.
What?
I remember
When?
myself. I'm not talking about you.
Oh, okay.
I'm just remembering myself so when you do Farrell's, you're 10 weeks, you're a 10-week member, 10-weeker. And then when you do maintenance, you become what we call a fit member,
Mhm.
Farrell's Infinite Transformation. I remember as a fit member, there were times that I would not have perfect attendance for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and months. So,
Well,
no.
I'll tell you, as owners, we're open every
Well,
holiday.
yeah, now I don't remember
Yeah.
not working out. And I work out every day in some capacity.
Yeah.
It's just I kind of need to. Like,
That's
yeah,
why I
you-
had to preface before you owned
Right.
the gym, because
Yeah.
I'd hope you guys are planning on going to work.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't.
now I have to do something. It's not always, crazy, but I just like need to move every day.
The only day that we're closed during the week is Christmas Day.
Mhm.
And that's it. Like Memorial Day, we have classes. Labor Day, 4th of July, Thanksgiving, we have classes.
Mhm.
Thanksgiving. Now we don't do like our entire schedule. Like tomorrow, we just do all morning classes, and then we don't have any evening classes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Thanksgiving we do classes. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Christmas Eve. I mean, unless it falls on a Sunday. But like this year, Christmas is on Monday, so we'll be closed. And then we'll be closed Christmas Eve because it's on a Sunday. Last year was nice because Christmas was on a Sunday.
Mhm.
So we didn't have to worry. And,
Mhm.
of course, we didn't get an
But
extra
we
day
didn't get
off.
a day off. I know.
So, yes. But anyway,
I
so
still
yeah,
have to do something.
we are open tomorrow. So, got all of our morning classes at the gym. A couple other things over the last week. If you're a regular ticket listener, you know that the guys were out at Cedars on, when was it? Tuesday,
Third.
24th.
24th,
Yep.
Wednesday.
Would have been
Wednesday.
Yep,
Yeah.
Wednesday.
On
Wednesday.
give to Lincoln Day.
Mhm.
I believe Cedars, I was just kind of looking at this.
They crushed the goal.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
goal was $250,000, and I think they got
424,000.
Yeah.
Yep, I just pulled it up
Nice.
from DP's post. So 424,000. It was pretty cool. Every time we drive by there like
Were
3
they
or
at
4
that
times a day.
Cedars?
Yeah,
Okay.
they were out front.
Because didn't they just open a new or break ground or
the carriage house.
Okay.
So the carriage house is essentially a home for young parents
Oh,
that are
okay.
homeless. They're just going through. It's just a place for young people that do fall into parenthood that have get their feet on the ground.
Okay.
Because you can imagine, if you're 16, you got a kid,
right?
Oh,
your
yeah.
housing situation isn't good at home.
Yes. Yeah.
That leaves you with no options.
Mhm.
So this is their whole thing. It's trying to figure out, because that's one of their statistics they bring up. A lot of the youth that are struggling, a lot of them are parents.
Mm.
And when you're in that hole, it's like,
Yeah.
who are
Right.
you going to look to?
Yeah.
To help
and
you
you're
in that
trying
one?
to keep another human alive at the
Right.
same time.
Right.
Yeah. it could be. So
Are
is
they-
that open or did they just?
I don't think it's open
Okay.
yet. I think that's where a majority of the money. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure if not, all of it was going
Okay.
to that carriage house. I'm sure some of it probably didn't go to the carriage house to other things they need to check up on, but a lot of it was for that. Because I think they're really hoping that's going to make some groundbreaking improvements on helping the youth, because they just didn't have an answer for that before.
Yeah.
It's like, we can help you out, but really fix,
Right.
that cracked foundation. That's
Mhm.
a tough thing to do. So yeah, shout out to Cedars and everyone that
Very
went
cool.
there. Jeff, I know you were down there, so it
Yeah, I
sounds
popped
like
out.
Magic was down there early in the morning.
Yeah.
The whole crew 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and it worked out great. Shout out Jim Lou, president of Cedars, that just put on a good time out there. But yeah, just smashed the goal and makes you feel good about Lincoln.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think overall they got like $7.4 million that day on Give to Lincoln Day,
That's
which
awesome.
is incredible. But yeah, just makes you feel good about living in Lincoln.
Well, we still got like you can give this month, right? Isn't the whole month of May, or is it over now?
I think it might be over.
Was it?
Let me
was
double
that
check.
day?
I think
Yeah.
it's just that day, and it
Okay.
ends at
Well,
Monday.
it was like up until then because
Oh,
you
okay,
could
that was the
you
final
could
day.
donate in May and it would still count, but maybe it was up
Okay.
until then.
Okay.
I think, fun fact, very
Yes.
unrelated. Laura told me, and I might be wrong, so I think she's listening, but
Oh.
she can tell me if I'm wrong. But I think the president of Cedars did the Prairie to Prairie race on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jim Blue was doing the Prairie to Prairie race.
I think that's what she said,
Oh,
or
that's
he was
cool.
there
I can
because
see
I
it.
think she was like, I think that's the but she knows who he is.
When I had
don't.
stopped up there, one of the guys up there said, "Oh, I listened to your show." I'm like, "Well, that's pretty cool."
Yeah.
So,
So I think he was there at least in some capacity, but I feel like maybe he was a biker.
He seems like a pretty
Yeah.
active guy.
I don't know. I might
So-
be making that up, but I'm pretty sure that's what she said.
well, and
pretty sure.
we've done some work with them. We've done a couple fundraisers like toy drives and stuff with Cedars that Farrell's has been involved in the past. So it's a pretty easy thing to go up there and donate on Give the Lincoln Day for them. So the ticket's always been really good to Farrell's and us. So, when they're say,
Mhm.
hey, come on down and make a donation, I'm going to be right there to do it to help them out. So it was a pretty awesome deal. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about our Down to Box program that we just wrapped up yesterday for our first 10-week challenge. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We just got a text from Pete. Said Jim is a biker.
Okay, so it probably was then. Yeah.
Used to be an avid runner. He
Okay.
competes.
I'm pretty sure
So
he was on
he was
the
out
bike
there.
course of the Prairie to Prairie.
All right, so we're off to break. We'll be right back on Fitness Fanatics 93.7 The Ticket.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down. Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association. In partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer.
In response to attacks against Asian Americans, Maddie Park raised over $250,000 to donate cab rides to the Asian community.
There is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
Support the Asian community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
The Ticket Water Cooler with Jake Bakoven and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
Northern Illinois and Louisiana Tech. Those are good games at the beginning of the year. Nice weather.
Should be good games for
Should be good
Nebraska.
games.
It should be a game where you get to see Nebraska in all of its glory.
Right.
And maybe you get to see a couple backups. Maybe you get to see some guys that might not play the rest of this season.
Now you're going a little too
Like,
far.
no, that's what they should do. That's what they
should
should
be.
be.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what they're going to be. They should be games where you don't have to see Jeff Sims play in the fourth quarter.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job?
Not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Fitness Fanatics against Memorial Day weekend. I never asked for graduation. Now, Nicole, I remember going to your graduation.
Mm-hmm.
You said you don't remember having a graduation party,
but
but I do.
We had
for
one.
you one.
Do you remember going to my
I
graduation?
do. It was at
party?
your dad's house on Creston.
Oh no, see, I don't remember it being at my dad's house.
Where'd you think it was? Your mom's?
I don't know. I remember the leading up to it. Okay, in my defense,
I think
we were
one of
also
them-
planning a wedding.
gonna say, I
we
think-
got married like a month later.
I think one of your graduation parties may have been like a graduation
/ wedding
shower.
bridal shower.
Just throw it all in there.
We just get it all
Yeah.
done at once.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
I
no,
think
I don't remember.
I think the
having
one at your mom's might have been that.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember like my dad coming over to your dad's house and for the graduation and stuff like that.
I don't know.
But
Okay.
yeah, I remember that. It was
Yeah.
a long time ago. But yeah, we did get married a month later.
Yeah.
Or 3 weeks
I
later,
was busy.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, I don't know. But
We got 2 more years. Oh, Harrison, last week after the show, I said I was going to take my son out driving.
oh gosh.
Oh,
That-
yes. I want to hear how that
Okay,
goes.
so we've only driven him once, and this is more mental fitness as well. So shout out to the parents that we never had to teach Katie to drive. Like she took driver's ed when she was 14, and they did everything with her. We never took her out.
I
Like,
took her out.
her
She
first
went
time
a little
ever?
bit. Yeah, you're not supposed to just. You're supposed to drive with your kids a little
where'd
bit.
you take her?
Just
So
through
my
our
parents
town.
just took me to driver's ed too. I never sat in the
Okay.
car with my
With them.
parents. No, I sat in the car with shout out Ed,
Right.
driver's ed teacher. But yeah,
That might have
that was
been
the
my
first time
driver's
I
ed
was.
teacher too.
Well, I shouldn't say that. On the farm, I drove a little bit.
You know,
too,
Coach Solis used to be a driver's ed teacher. In fact, my aunts,
There's some good money in
my
that.
aunts had Coach Solich was their driver's ed teacher.
What?
Seriously?
I didn't know
At
that.
Southeast, I believe.
Oh, that's
is
cool.
where they went.
Solage used to be a driver's ed.
Yes,
teacher.
Coach Solich was a driver's ed teacher. Now, this is a long time ago.
Yeah.
So yes, he was their driver's ed teacher.
That's
Frank Solich.
Can you
was their
imagine
driver's ed
like
teacher.
getting that being your driver's ed teacher, and then one day being like, "Oh, he's the head
Right.
coach."
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've
That's
heard
so cool.
stories from them. It's
My
Aunt Carla
parents
and Aunt
didn't
Roxy.
take me out, but my aunt did. I remember
Okay.
driving. But yeah.
So
You-
anyway,
you kind of messed up last
well,
week.
so we go out, and I was gonna take him. I was gonna go to some like
Parking
small
lot.
town. Like I was gonna go to
Oh.
Waverly and just let him because I knew it'd be slow traffic.
Right.
and-
What car are you guys driving?
my Toyota Corolla.
Okay.
That's what I have. So just not a stick shift or anything like
Mhm.
that.
That was my first car. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, stick shift.
There's your car, but I'm not going to teach you how to drive it. But yeah,
Well, anyway, so we
you should
drove
have
for
gone
about
to a parking lot.
we drove for about
first.
5, 6, 7 minutes, and there was one point where we were at a T intersection.
Total 6-7 minutes total.
Probably.
Okay.
Was
And
he doing good up until those 6 minutes?
When we pulled out of our driveway, we
No.
about took out 3 mailboxes. I had to reach over and just veer the car, and so we didn't hit a mailbox, And of course, I don't have a brake. Like the driver's ed car is
Right.
like, bam, you
Yeah.
hit the brake. So as far as like keeping it straight, and he was doing good. What I didn't anticipate, because I don't remember learning how to drive. I mean, like we don't
There's
remember
so much technical stuff that we don't even think
Just
about.
muscle memory.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the touch of the steering wheel, like
Mhm.
turning, and then like you got to turn back to get it straight. Like we don't we don't even look when we turn. We're just
Yeah.
driving. And but there's one part where he turned and he went
right.
up on a curb.
Curb check.
Oh, but like
No.
the front
He
passenger
drove into the sidewalk,
Yeah.
basically.
and the back, the two wheels were up on the curb.
Okay.
And I'm like this, just and then I'm like, you gotta turn. And then there was like a drain there,
Yep.
and I used to just see, like, if our car would have been lower, I could have just seen the bottom getting stuck on the curb. But nothing happened.
Yeah.
He got off, and then I was like, all right, just pull up where your sister parks. So we pulled up in front of the house, and I was like, okay, do we want to go? He's like, I think this is enough for today.
Even just that would have been enough.
So we got about 7
So
minutes.
you basically drove the route that you had to take when you had to chase Paige that one time. Was that
We went the
route?
opposite
Oh,
way.
okay.
Yeah, no, but it was.
Was it our walking route? You just went around that circle.
We went just kind of down 57th. I mean,
Oh, okay.
it was, we got pretty far out there.
In 6 minutes.
Yeah, but it was,
We're gonna take him out to Pioneers Park today.
I mean, it was terrifying.
I think a lot of that is jitters too.
100%.
Because I
Yeah.
remember like he probably knows, and he's you mess up once, he's like, oh
Yeah,
god,
right.
and then he's just like heart rate's accelerating already, and then he's just, I feel like jitters, because I remember
Yeah,
taking driver's
adrenaline.
ed first time on interstate, and I was always the first one up, and we're going on interstate, and it's like torrential rain.
Me too.
And I'm like, why am I driving right
Mm.
now? Like,
Yes.
when you're driving past semis on the interstate, and
Yeah.
you're splashing your windshield, you got them on full blast.
Oh, you can't even see. You're
No,
just-
I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
Driving this thing, looking at Ed like, you want to take over? This is like my first day driving on the interstate.
not
in torrential
qualified.
rain. Like we
Yep.
got off. No one got hurt, but I think that was the most scared I was for a little bit there. I was happy
Yeah.
to be done with my turn, but now I still don't like doing that on interstate.
No, me
I still
either.
get nervous going past semis when it's pouring out and everyone's going.
Oh,
80.
I'll tell you,
Yeah.
as a passenger, she's
I
ridiculous.
am. I'm sorry.
Freaks out, and I'm like, I got this. I'm
not
fine.
freaking out about you, like that you're a bad driver. It's just stressful. Is
Like
all.
when we drive in storms,
I
she's
hate
just
it so much.
Jeff. I'm like, I'm good.
I
I'm
don't
good.
like
I'm
it.
good. I mean,
I think that's probably because my first interstate driving experience was exactly the same, Harrison. It was in the pouring torrential rain, and I exited off and I went to go turn, and there were no cars. And so I went to go turn, and I went like I was on the wrong side of the road. And so that was where my driver's ed teacher had to like grab the steering wheel and get me on the right side of the road. It was traumatic. Same thing.
Yeah.
Like I was stressed out from that driving on the interstate that I like lost all faculties once I got off of the interstate. So
we do have another
it's
text.
a rite of passage. You're
It
gonna have
is.
those moments.
We do have another text. 3 text messages today
Yay.
from AD
3.
himself.
Okay.
He was
Who's
supposed
that
to be on our show last week, but he failed to appear. So it was funny. I said, "Well, we threw you under the bus a few times." So, but he listened, and so he was texting me about it. But no, it was cool. So he's driving to Omaha to drop his daughter off. She's going to
Oh, yeah.
Rome
Mhm.
for 6 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
I know. We were talking.
study abroad?
Yeah.
Or- okay.
Yep, for 6 weeks over the summer. So I believe she just got done her freshman year at Nebraska, and now she's going to Rome for 6 weeks. So
That's awesome.
pretty cool. So yeah, AD texted in, just said, "Good morning, great show. Heading to Omaha to drop off baby girl, Rome for 6 weeks." He's in tears driving to Omaha. Now, AD, be careful while you're driving. Don't get the tears, make sure you get her there. So, but we were talking about like, our kids still live with us. Our daughter's 20. And every now and then we're like, Katie, you believe there's going to be a time where we like don't talk to you for like a week?
I don't like that.
Like, or don't see you for, it's just kind of weird, we're
Yeah.
used to that. So, but anyway, thanks for listening there on the way. So let's talk about our Down to Box. So we started this 10 weeks ago. We partnered, Farrell's partnered with a national company called Down to Box, which is they do boxing for kids and adults with Down syndrome. So we partnered with the DSAF here in Lincoln. Brandy Benson, who is a member instructor, she kind of spearheaded this whole thing and got it started. So our first group, we wrapped up our 10 weeks yesterday, was the last one. So we're going to be taking a little time off on the summer. We'll probably do like one class a month to try to get some more interest, so some more kids can come out and try out the workout.
And adults.
And adults, yep. So we'll be working with DSAF to get those, what we're calling pop-up classes. But the kids were really sad yesterday.
We were sad.
We were sad. The kids were sad. The adults were sad that
I
there's
know.
no class next week.
It was really fun.
But it was cool. Like, the first week or two, like I had never been around really anybody with Down syndrome.
Or really a lot of disabilities in
Yeah,
general.
like, I mean, ever.
Yeah.
So I was a little nervous, the first couple weeks, and by about week 3 or 4, the littles is what Brandy calls them. So we have a group that's 12 and under.
But it was way 12 and under.
Yeah,
I mean, we had some young ones.
Yeah, for the trainer from Omaha that came over that did the first class, he had said he had never had a class with that young of kids.
Yeah.
Really?
Like we had 7, I think was our youngest, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds.
7, yeah.
So the first few weeks I was a little nervous. For me, I was kind of reserved. Like I just wasn't sure how to interact. I was I don't know. It was just kind of stupid.
It is weird for you because I know you were going to love it.
Yeah. And like about week 4 or 5 is when I started really connecting with the kids, like the little kids. Like they thought it was funny that I couldn't touch my toes
when we stretched.
So that's kind of how it started. And then, it was just kind of cool. And every week just to see their faces, like smiling, looking in the window, like seeing their friends. And, for the little ones, we'd spend maybe 5 minutes boxing.
Sometimes a little bit more.
A little bit longer than that. But the little kids, we like to do animals, and they just want to run across the gym floor.
Warm up, stretching.
Yep, they love to stretch.
Yep. Yeah.
We
had a dance party after our stretching every time.
Yep.
But it was really cool. I mean, this is how kids are, just all kids. They really like their routine. And so, they wouldn't let us forget things at this point, kind of towards the end. They knew exactly the order that things were going to go in when we started our stretching. Dot was very adamant that we had to start with arm circles, and she led us in the arm circles, and then we're immediately like dance party. I'm like, we're not done stretching. So it was really cool. I love that about kids just in general. They like their routine. And then by the end, they were basically running the show because they knew exactly what we were doing.
Yeah. And a shout out to the parents too. Like there's a couple parents that would come in and say, "Oh, are you guys the one that has the show on the ticket?" And I mean, so it's just meeting more listeners and stuff. So that was kind of cool. But I think the parents are like, they come in and they're just like, "All right, we're going to watch our kids for the next 30 minutes."
Yeah.
So they just kind of sat there and,
socialize together
and talk.
Probably loved it.
Close-knit community.
Get those kids, you know, tired.
Wear them out a little bit.
Give them some, focus. Drain themselves a little bit mentally, physically, and then sounds like a good outlet though. The fact that they're calling the show from there on out, make sure you guys don't miss any of that routine.
Same with the adults though too. They really, and the adults was really cool because, I mean, that just to see their skill level improve over the 10 weeks was really cool.
Younger I mean,
It
like
was. They're more
couple
teenagers.
teenagers.
Yeah, yeah.
How
A
old
lot
is
of them are
Coda?
still in school. I have no idea.
He's out of school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
A lot of
there's
them were still in school. They do other things too. Like Alyssa had just shared after our class that she got a silver and bronze medal in the Special Olympics last week.
in
So
swimming.
yep, and swimming. So that's really cool. But yeah, so they were older, but they are a younger adult group.
Yeah.
But their skill level improved so much, like getting the punches down and stuff, and like just really working hard. It was really fun to watch.
Yeah, we with them we did more. I mean, it was more like an actual Farrell's class. Like we did our own assembly line, which was pretty awesome. I mean, we've done
Used
sets,
mitts,
we've done
drills.
mitt drills. We'd have long bag sets and then do some off the bag stuff. So kind of towards the end, the last 4 or 5 weeks, it was like teaching, 3-4 minutes on the bag, 2 minutes off, get a drink, and then that type of thing. So, and the teens, they kind of warmed up to me too in the last few weeks.
Sure. Yeah.
I think really when I had to teach the class kind of by myself, like a few weeks ago, Brandy and Justin were out of town.
Okay, let's be clear. It was like 5 minutes.
No, it was like 15 minutes.
No, it wasn't.
So usually there's a lot of helpers and stuff. And I hadn't really led a class, like me leading the class.
No.
Nicole and Brandy were the
down
two.
the box, you mean?
Yeah, for the down the box. Yeah. So Nicole and Brandy were the ones that were leading the class. And then just a few weeks ago, Brandy and Justin's is her husband, they were out of town. So none of the volunteers were there yet, and Nicole wasn't there yet.
I was coming over from Yankee Ridge, but I forgot that Brandy and Justin weren't gonna be there. I would have left earlier.
Right. So I
was late.
One of the parents was like, "You leading this today, Jeff?" And I'm like, "Yep, let's do it." So it was just me out there with our 4 adults and stuff for about 15 minutes, and it was about 15 minutes. But anyway, so after I kind of got a little connection with them because I was, and this microphone just keeps going up and down. Okay. Connection with them because I was leading and did a lot of bag time and stuff. So it was pretty cool. High fives. And I was talking to one of the guys 2 weeks ago about Cobra Kai and the Karate Kid right down my aisle, So I was like, all right, now would they be doing this on
alley?
Alley.
Yeah.
Down my alley.
Yeah, right. That's
we were talking a little eagle.
I wasn't gonna say anything, so it's like maybe it's a term I haven't heard.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's aisle, alley, just
it's the same thing. It's a straight.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
I know. You're right.
Down my alley.
I just don't want you walking around saying that and people thinking that I didn't correct you.
Oh, okay.
Alley. Down your alley. Sorry.
Down my alley.
Sorry.
That's okay.
We derailed you.
Yeah, I know. Sorry for breaking up the momentum. It's a really cool program, and we're gonna, like Jeff said, we're gonna bring it back in the fall officially because they run in 10-week sessions too. It's once a week, and we do have like space for volunteers too. So if anyone's interested in volunteering, like the adult class is 45 minutes, the children's class is 30 minutes, and I think maybe in this next session we might do the adults in the evenings and the kids on Saturday. So we might have a couple days available. So if anyone's interested in volunteering, you do have to go through a background check through Down to Box, but definitely reach out to us and we can get you guys connected. And if you want to volunteer, you're going to get
DSAF is who you'd want to kind of go through to.
Yeah. Well, not to volunteer. You can volunteer with us.
Oh yeah.
But I say this every week. We teach fitness classes for a living. Obviously, we exercise for a living. Love it. But it can be mentally and physically exhausting to be leading classes and stuff like that. And this is totally different. Like every Saturday, we leave more energized. They're just the energy and their enthusiasm and just everything. It's an energizing kind of atmosphere. I love it.
And we've done, this week will be our 10-year anniversary as Farrell's owners. So we took over in June of 2013. So we've been at this for 10 years. We've done over 40 10-week challenges as owners. And this group of 10 that we had was probably the best group we've ever had.
It was awesome.
Oh, it was great. Like you get the most out of it.
Right.
Helping the kids. And like I said, most adults, and if we have any of our members listening, they don't come into the gym smiling like the kids
Yeah,
do.
Brandy, yesterday, Brandy said, I think it's just because they want to be here.
Right.
Not that you don't want to be at Farrell's, but it is a thing in your day, like exercise, workout. Okay, I have to work out. I have to do that. It's kind of a thing that you have to do as an adult.
When Pete rolls in at 5 a.m., he's not smiling ear to ear.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so excited to see you, Jeff.
Like Ruby every day, just
grinning.
every week.
Yeah. Can't wait. Talk about it all week. Yeah. And I mean, he's happy when he comes in, but he's not smiling like it's making his day. You know,
he's waiting for the clock to start so he can go get out.
As
of there.
we all are, right?
Waiting for the clock to finish.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Better.
So it is very rewarding.
Yeah,
if it's something
that's
that
cool.
you want to be involved in, you can definitely reach out to us and we'll get that going. So
All right. Well, we're going to take a break. We're going to hit on the Husker Road Race in the next segment, and then we'll be joined in studio by one of our members, Jeremy Martin, otherwise known as Jeremy the Grill Master. So we'll be back on 93.7 The Ticket, Fitness Fanatics.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices. Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mix Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor.
Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down. Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse? Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam, ran right into the side of the saloon. Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Our lives only have so much time, but if you smoke, you have less. Your life could be 10 years shorter, and the time you do have is often filled with health problems. Shortness of breath, asthma, COPD, and cancer. But the minute you quit, your body starts healing,
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Whether you like fishing together or fishing to get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time, on the banks of your local pond, at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line. Here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
The Drive with AD and Raf.
I saw Nick run more yesterday in the history of running. There goes Nick running again. I'm like, what is going on here?
It was the first time that I played with Raph and Edie. I was like, oh my gosh, this is they're never gonna invite me back. Probably like hole 5. I'm like, dang, Raph, like I'm sorry, man.
The more that you talk trash to him, the worse that you played, Raph.
Weekdays from 8 to 10 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in here to the Fitness Fanatics. We're going to take the next few minutes just to pump up the 5K Husker Road Race that's coming up on July 16th. We're going to talk about this pretty much every single show.
Yeah.
From now until the run.
Honestly, just because it's something we love.
We love
and we want to share it with other people.
Nicole's wearing her road race shirt today. Just a quick programming note. Next week, we will not be here. So we're going to be running one of our previous shows, a little motivational show for you with Dave Kovar. So he was on, I think it was in January when he joined us, but we're going to have that on. So it's just another good refresher, motivation. So we won't be here. We're going to be doing the Dam to Des Moines half marathon number 2 for us, which is next Saturday, but we're going to be staying the weekend there in Des Moines. So we will not be here, but then we'll be back live in studio on the 11th of June. And then the following week, we're headed off to Colorado Springs to trek up Pikes Peak.
Yep.
That's coming up here in 3 weeks from today.
We were talking about the road race.
We are.
Okay.
I was just kind of setting the table.
Okay. Well, I know this is our short segment, so just
we
keep me on track.
Got the road race is July 16th. You can join the ticket/Fitness Fanatics running group. If you just go to huskers.com, look up the Husker 5K, and you can look for our group, Fitness Fanatics. So we're up to about 20 runners. You don't have to be a runner. You can be a walker.
Yeah.
They have kids 1K or a 1 mile fun run for the kids, which is $25, $35 to do the 5K. Our whole family is going to do it. It's the one kind of run that we do together. And what really got our kids sold to do it this year is that we're starting and finishing inside Memorial Stadium.
Yep.
So if you've never, right. So it's like basically you pay $35 and you get to go on in Memorial Stadium on the field, hang out with the football players. I'm sure some of the coaches will be there. There's been coaches there every single year. It's for a great cause, pediatric brain cancer research. They always have some kids down there that are going through that. And so it's good to meet them and see their stories. And there's always a couple of football players that will do the 1 mile fun run with the kids and some that do the 5K as well. We should be having a couple Huskers in here June 25th, I believe. Not sure exactly who will be in here, but we're working with Keith Zimmer, who is over in the life skills department at the university. Last year we had Ramir Johnson in here and Nick Henrik in here. So that was pretty awesome. So we'll have a couple players in here to talk about that when we get closer. But again, huskers.com, 5K, look up the Husker 5K and join the Fitness Fanatics page. So you don't have to be a member of Farrell's. You just, it doesn't really matter.
We're also getting a kind of a group together too, a running group where we're going to be providing a training plan, like a 5-week training plan to get ready for it. We're partnering with Dr. Adam at Spine and Sport Chiropractic so we're going to partner with him. I'm going to be going in and we're going to be providing like a full body strength workout that you can do to kind of complement your training. So like I said, it's like Jeff said, especially if you're not a Farrell's member, if you're new to running, you've never done a 5K, this might be a great way. We're going to provide you with a training plan and then an at-home kind of cross training, strength training workout you can do each week. Nothing crazy. It'll be simple. It'll be the same workout each week. So it's just to kind of get you ready and prepared for the race, whatever that looks like for you. If you want to run the whole thing, if you want to walk the whole thing, we'll just be providing some support. We're going to do a Facebook group. We'll also do an email, kind of a weekly email with the training plan, and coordinate some group runs too. So we'll be getting some more information about that. I'm going to kind of finish that up this week, but
yeah, we have 6 weeks or 7 weeks until this starts.
Well, I know, but it's only technically going to be like 5 weeks. But if you're wanting to do it, a 5K, and you're worried about it, what I would recommend to do right now is start walking. Just start walking, get some 20, 30-minute walks in, and then you're going to kind of be prepared to see how you're going to feel as you train for that 3 miles, 5Ks, 3.1 miles. So anybody can do it. Everyone can do it. You can walk it. So we're going to give that support. It's going to be support to kind of newbies to running. So kind of look out for that, but we're going to give you a full kind of plan.
Plus, you guys probably say it's one of the coolest races you could probably do.
So cool. It's the best 5K. Yeah, it's awesome. That's partly why we promote it. We are not affiliated with it at all. We just really think it's cool, and we want to see people out there and experience it.
Yes.
Great cause. You get to meet probably some cool faces, see Memorial Stadium.
Yeah.
It's lined up to be an awesome one. If I didn't work Sunday, maybe I'll meet you guys.
I know.
There.
Yeah. It's so cool. And one of our members, Jay, he's like the announcer for it. So that's cool too.
Yes.
So we'll have
shout out to Jay Marshall.
Yep.
So he does the PA for that.
Yeah.
So he'll be doing some shout outs for all the Farrell's members when they cross. So
yeah.
All right. Well, we're up against the break. We're joined in studio with one of our 10-weekers and a ticket texting legend. So we'll be joined here by Jeremy the Grill Master in studio here on the flip side. 93.7 The Ticket, Fitness Fanatics. We'll be right back.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008, and we're excited to open a second location in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenient services you're looking for in a bank, along with the friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com, member FDIC.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Can I go to the sleepover?
If there's any drinking, I want you to say, no,
Mom.
I promise you, your real friends won't care.
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you. Tips on how to start the talk. Visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Sponsored DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Neither you or I think he's retiring. The NBA, I don't think, is ready for LeBron to retire. Who's the face of the league?
They're not prepared for it. It would be shock in New York, because now you're trying to recreate this again, but there's really, they're trying to do it. Like, that's why they were hoping Celtics, Lakers. Like, they were trying to figure out, find a way to revamp it.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
An 18-year-old kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2000. At 4 in the morning, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is self. I just want to get that I also had goals.
Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essig.
All right, welcome back in here, top of the hour, Memorial Day weekend. And, you know, it's kind of cool that we have somebody named the Grill Master
On Memorial Day weekend.
on Memorial Day weekend.
Shouldn't you be home, like, smoking something?
I will be later.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
See, there we go. All right, well, we're joined in studio by one of our 10-week challengers. Jeremy Martin is his name, otherwise known as Jeremy the Grill Master for all you ticket listeners out there. But before we get started, we're going to give a shout out to our sponsor, Integrative Life Choices. We are sponsored by ILC. They are hiring direct support professionals all over the state of Nebraska, full-time, part-time days, evenings, and weekends. People can apply at ilc.net/careers. Direct support professionals work to ensure a meaningful life for the people they support. They work to support people in achieving their hopes and dreams. So big shout out to them. What a way to make a difference, helping people.
We also had Becky on the show a couple shows ago. So if you can go back and listen to that one and learn more about what ILC offers and provides. And
yeah. All right. Well, so again, we're joined in studio by Jeremy. He has just completed week 7 of the 10-week challenge.
What?
Before we dive into Farrell's, I want to get just a little for the listeners get to know you. So just a couple things, like where did you grow up? Were you any sports when you were in high school, your younger days? Kind of give us your background.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I grew up between Alma, Kearney, and Seward. Spent most of my high school days and growing up going to school in Kearney. I played football, baseball, tried soccer once. That's too much running.
yeah.
You don't have to be. I played soccer and I was very terrible at it, but I lettered in it.
That she went to school, everybody lettered. You just played in.
It was the first year of co-ed soccer, so they took anybody.
Participation, participation letter.
Yeah, it is a lot of running.
That's where it started.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I played football. I actually played in Kearney High with Monte Cristo.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Count
Yep, the
of
Count.
Monte Cristo.
You got it.
He started. Nicole hates it when I bring this stuff
Well,
up.
I hate. You
He
know what I hate
started
more?
in-
Let me tell you what I hate more. I hate more that you constantly say Nicole
you
hates
do.
it. When I
You preface it.
Yes, I'm starting to hate that more.
Monte Cristo, right?
Yep.
Started against Texas in the 1998 game on Halloween, and I remember them opening saying the Count of Monte Cristo
Yep.
is the starting quarterback. And unfortunately for Nebraska, we lost our 47 home game winning streak that day to Ricky Williams and the
Yeah,
Texas Longhorns.
That
So-
was an ugly day.
But anyway, so that's cool.
Yep.
That's cool. I know.
Spin.
Oh,
Spin.
we just got off course. But anyway, yeah. So if you don't know who Monte Cristo is, now you do. He started game in 1998 against Texas.
Yep.
So that's cool.
And you
So-
played
High
with him.
grad.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how did your team do? Were you, state champions? Did you get to the playoffs? How'd the team do back then?
I tell you the truth, I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
It's been a long time. Yes.
Yep.
So what did you like after high school? Like kind of like anything fitness related that you were involved in, or?
Yep. So I after high school, I jumped right into the workforce. Had a few different jobs. I'm a welder by trade.
Okay.
But in 2005, I decided to join the military, and I joined the Army National Guard in Nebraska. And I was in the Guard for 8 years. And
Okay.
so
Awesome.
that's where my other than playing sports, that's where my fitness came from to start with.
Oh, sure.
Going
Sure.
to basic training and boot camp. When I left to go to basic training, I weighed 250 pounds. I got home and I was like $1.75.
Wow. Yeah.
You don't have a choice there.
No,
Yeah.
you don't have a choice.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and I learned to love running.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I first started getting into shape, getting into the gym, running. And then in 2007, I was deployed. And while I was on deployment, I messed up my knee, and now I can't run so much anymore.
Yeah.
I try. I can do it for a day or two, but then my knee screams at me, and I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I've tried, doing swimming, other low impact stuff, and nothing's worked. And I like to eat. I like to drink beer.
Oh, we all love to eat.
And
We love to eat.
So, and as my job progressed, I've now worked into a role where I'm a robotics engineer, and it's less physical labor and more sitting down at a desk and doing programming and organizing stuff. So I'm not as active during the workday as I was used to, and my eating habits and stuff didn't change.
Right. Right.
They actually probably got. I don't want to say worse because you're the grill master. So as you perfected your craft,
Oh,
yeah.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I for quite a while, I would say for probably 6 years, I really hadn't done anything and just kind of let myself go. And it was a lot easier to go buy a bigger pair of pants than it was to get up and work.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So then come around to a year and a half ago or so when I heard you guys first start coming on to the ticket and talking about ferals and the extreme body shaping, and I was like, well, that sounds pretty cool, and
For someone else.
the first
For someone else.
Yeah. Good for Mark.
the first right? So the first enrollment thing came along and I was like, well, I got this going on. I it's right in the middle. I can't do it. And so that is what has always happened. Like, well, the 10-week challenge is coming up. I'm going to do it. Well, we got this happening and this happening. And I'm like, I'll do the next one. And I saw Mark when I was here for the drill challenge, and he was dedicated. I tried and tried to get him to eat some of the stuff I was making.
He was at the end of his challenge then. It was Yep.
But he stayed true. And then again the next challenge came along, and I'm like, what? No, I got this going on. And so I've been doing that for a year now.
Yeah.
And then I heard you guys talking about it this last time, March, before the challenge started, and listening to AD talk about it and seeing Mark's progress. Wow.
Right.
Wow. And I was like, you know what? I should do it. And then AD was like, well, I'm going to sponsor a couple people. And I was like, all right.
You're right there.
I'll do it.
Yeah. It was meant to be.
Yep. So, that's how I came about to actually get there to do it. And I think having that little extra motivation of, I don't want to let AD down. And on top of that, like I'm going to say the first couple weeks of getting up early. So I live in Seward.
Yeah, you got a little bit of a drive to get to the 5 a.m. class.
So I'm up at 3:30 in the morning, getting ready to come to class and getting all my stuff ready because I leave from the gym and go straight to work. Getting everything ready for the day, and then drive in. I got to leave my house by 4:15, and a lot of times I'm rolling in like 5 minutes before class.
Yeah.
But so that first couple weeks was difficult, but now like I wake up, my alarm goes off. I actually look forward to it. Like I like to drive because it gives me time to wake up before I get to class. So I'm not coming in all groggy eyed.
Yep.
And then after, like creases on your face still, that happens sometimes.
And then after you get to listen to Sip and Jake and Coach Bush, right? At 6 o'clock.
Exactly. That's what's on the Jeep when you get out there.
Yeah.
Well, Pete Ferguson texted in, said Jeremy's crushing it at 5 a.m. Appreciate all he brings to the class in the morning. Couple more weeks, my man. We got this.
You know we do, Pete.
Yes. The 5 a.m. group is, I mean, it's mostly all guys.
Yeah.
Which is, and most of them are all ticket listeners.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty good group. Mark's the coach. We got Pete in there. I believe Nick is another one who heard us on the ticket. Just a awesome group.
Yeah.
It's turned into, we used to say 6 a.m. was kind of the man show.
Yeah.
But that's turned into 5 a.m.
5 a.m. Yankee Ridge for sure. Lots of guys.
And even last session, we had a lot of people that heard us on the ticket that are continuing on as FIT members and stuff. And AD's joined a couple times there at 5 a.m. Maybe 2 or 3 times.
No, he's been pretty.
Ever since I made him do
I thought he was a late day guy.
He usually is. He was a morning person before, like a long time ago. And so now I think he's trying to get back into that.
Well, now he has a show, he has to be to at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So he's just 6 a.m. is a little tight for him to do 6 and then getting in for the spillover there with the guys. So, well, that's awesome. Timing is everything.
Yep.
And I have a feeling like if you would have tried to do this, 3 sessions ago, maybe you wouldn't have been successful because you weren't ready to do it.
And, talking about having the things go on, when this challenge came along, I had actually at work, I'd won a grand prize at our employee appreciation party, and it was a weekend trip to Kansas City.
Okay.
And so, that was just one thing. It was only one day, and I did the virtual. That was cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the second thing is going to be in week 9. My youngest son is graduating basic training in Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to do a Tuesday through Saturday, probably all virtual.
Yeah. Yeah.
But life happens.
Yeah.
You're not special.
Right.
There's
You heard it here first. No.
Now think
It's
about
so true.
yeah, go
Timing
ahead.
is important, but it is also like looking at it beyond just being a 10-week program, because you're not going to like at 10 weeks, your results aren't going to just freeze and you're going to just, it's something you have to continue doing somehow, being physically active. So it's like you have to make it fit. And we talk about this a lot because sometimes people do just stop everything else in their life and go all in 110% in the 10 weeks. Don't, have a cheat meal, a fun day, nothing. They come to every single class. They hit everything really hard. They put everything else on the back burner. They do great, but then they don't have a plan going forward. That's not sustainable. So we definitely want people to keep in mind that timing is important, but also understand that like you have to make it in a sustainable way. So if you can do it and have things that you're fitting your life into, then you're still going to have progress. Like it's not a 10 weeks and you're done. And so it's fine. There's some things that can happen out of your control. We've had people that have been sick this session or, stuff like that. And they've had to miss a couple days. That wasn't their intention. They weren't intending to miss class because of that, but you have to take care of yourself. So like that's life. Life is always going to happen. So you have to kind of fit it in however you can. So it's kind of important to weigh both of those options too when you're trying to decide like what you're going to do when you're going to start anything like health related.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to give it I thought of a couple more ticket listeners that do 5 a.m. Obviously, my cousin Brian.
Listens to the ticket.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm sorry.
Brian and
Shout
then
out
John.
Brian.
Yes. So
Yeah.
those are John Hurst on the ticket. Brian Hurst on the ticket as well. Well, and he knows me personally.
Right.
Yeah.
both great guys.
Yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
Yeah.
good-
So all
good
guys right there.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, that's pretty cool.
Showing up every day,
let's
which
go.
helps a lot.
Yes. Yeah. Everybody's there.
You
every day.
showing up every day helps them show up every day, helps,
That accountability.
It is. Yeah. It's cool. I like it when groups kind of get that, at the first couple weeks, it's a little weird. You're getting to know people, whatever. But when you're next to them every single day for 45 minutes, it is kind of, you're like, you're continuing conversation that you had the day before or whatever, you're getting there to like talk to them, get to know them. And that helps a lot as far as success too.
Well, yesterday, we were talking about a lot of guys in class. I taught the 5 a.m. and it was all guys, probably 13, 14 guys.
And one girl.
And one lady.
Yeah.
Jay.
Yep. That was the week before too.
But you taught. So there were two in class. It was just her.
True.
And then all the guys. And usually I there's a lot of classes where I'll teach and I'll be like, hey, Harrison, it's just you and all these ladies in here,
Yeah.
But typically I don't say, hey, Jay, it's just you and all the guys, So it's pretty fun. And one of the reasons we wanted to do stuff with the ticket is because Farrell's predominantly, our membership had been about 70% females, 70% ladies. And I remember, when we were in Iowa, I wanted to do some stuff on the sports station there because we would see guys come through and do the challenge and would see just insane results, like incredible results, like losing weight, changing how they look. But so I'd be like, hey, let's advertise to guys. Well, 70% of our members are women. Well, that's because we focus on women, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the ticket has really, kind of opened that door to get more guys in. That's why you see 5 guys that all listed the ticket are doing 5 a.m. with Mark, who runs the station.
Yeah.
So, which is pretty cool. But we're going to take a break here. When we get back, we want to go through some, see if Jeremy's struggling with anything that we can help him with. You have the owners right here at your disposal to help you with anything that you're going through. So we'll be right back. If you have any questions for us, you can reach us on the Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. We'll be right back on the Fitness Fanatics.
It's May, and that the school year is almost over, and summer road trips are on the horizon. Telling yourself you'll upgrade your day and do is a great vehicle to tug your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride. Summer road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
If you struggle with joint pain, there's good news. You don't need surgery to get back to full health. South Point Medical and Aesthetics offers breakthrough non-surgical options for treatment of moderate to severe joint pain. Our patients experience little to no downtime from our procedures, and the results are remarkable. They've had 14 years of successful treatments with patients from 35 states because of an effective word-of-mouth traffic. Learn more about how you can get lasting results for joint pain today at southpointmedical.com or call 402-323-8400.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids. First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel, and I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talk with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitor. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Service Administration.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated about a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great. We're
definitely coming back.
Sure.
Starter Heyman's on Grand Island. StarterHeyman.com.
The captain for Sean Jack.
Yes, was ready to transfer. Lester talked me off the ledge. Told me if you quit now, you're gonna always be quit. So you gotta figure out what it's gonna take for you to play. You know what it does? They did talk to Zach Leager, Brandon Stein, Noel, Ross Patterson, and Aaron Graham. Hey fellas, don't mind if I work with y'all? The 120 dumbbells. I couldn't lift the 90s at the time. And I said, man, I don't care what it takes. I'm getting ready to get bigger, stronger, faster. So that when we get out there on that football field, you got to play me.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding the horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, just tapping away at his telegraph when blam, ran right into the side of the saloon. Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit stoptextstopnext.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
The Ticket Water Cooler with Jake Bockelman and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
Northern Illinois and Louisiana Tech. Those are good games at the beginning of the year. Nice weather.
Should be good games for Nebraska. It should be a game where you get to see Nebraska in all of its glory.
Right.
And maybe you get to see a couple backups. Maybe you can see some guys that might not play the rest of the season.
Now you're going a little too
Like,
far.
no, that's what they should do. That's what they
should be.
I'm not saying that's what they're going to be. They should be games where you don't have to see Jeff Sims play in the fourth quarter.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere sprayer from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Leverage the industry's latest technology with See and Spray to target weeds in season, in corn, and soybeans, and use less herbicide per acre. Utilize Exact Apply to save in chemical usage and prevent over-application. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008, and we're excited to open a second location in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenient services you're looking for in a bank, along with the friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in here. We're joined in studio by Jeremy the Grill Master on the Ticket text line. All right, so before we get to any questions, we were talking off break, or well, in the first thing, talking about how you hurt your knee when you were deployed. So you were worried about how your knee was going to hold up doing our classes. So this is good to talk about because I'm sure there's other folks out there that, maybe have had a knee replacement surgery or hip replacement or some type of injury, and they feel like they can't do ferals. So talk a little bit about that, how your knees held up and how you're feeling going through that.
Yeah. So like I said, I I hurt my knee when I was deployed, and I've tried running. I've tried other, higher impact stuff to stay in shape, and nothing worked. My knee just started screaming at me. But I I think that a lot of it has to do with the stretching, and then a lot of the strength conditioning that we do, especially with the legs. And the fact that kicking the bag is, you would think that would hurt or something, but going at your own pace, what your body can do. And so like when I started out, I was a little bit ginger kicking the bag, but now I wail.
That's how people should be. And I think that sometimes when injuries do happen, it's because people are trying to do too much too soon. So that probably actually helped you become better at like where you are now kicking, because you were super aware of it. Sometimes people aren't aware of it, and then problems happen. It's like, well, if we could go back in time and you would have like started a little slower and really broken it down. So I think that's probably what had helped you actually, strengthening that, because kicking is so technical. There's a lot involved in it. There's balance involved and strength and stuff like that. And that's great that you came into it knowing you're just going to go at your own pace, and now you're 7 weeks in and you feel like you're, right on task. And it's like not the end of the world that the first couple weeks, you took the time to slow down and get it right.
Yeah. And additionally, I think with the different strength training things that we do on legs days, I feel muscles that I didn't know were there.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I remember after, the first couple of weeks, doing all the squats and lunges and everything. And I'm like, I have to use these things the rest of the day. Guys.
Yeah.
But, now, like, we did quite a few lunge sets and squats yesterday, and nothing. My legs are solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, the strength training part is super important too. I think our strength training is, should be viewed as more of an injury prevention to help set you up for your power in kickboxing, and sometimes it's not as glamorous, it's not as fun to do strength training as it is to put those gloves on and punch and kick the bag. But like, it's very designed to be that way, where you're building up and strengthening those muscles that haven't really been used or that have been overcompensating because of the knee pain, and we're building that up. And so I think that should be a way that people look at it. Like it is conditioning. You are doing conditioning where you have to strengthen it so you can be better in kickboxing, just like football players, they don't just, run plays. They do their strength training so they're better on the field too. So it's kind of all goes together.
Yeah. I like how, it's like building blocks. Like, you're working on this to make this better. And then, as we've gone along, I feel like my body is changing, and I know it, I see it, I feel it.
Yeah.
And it's made, when we do the kickboxing 3 days a week, it's way better than when I first started.
Yeah.
I can see it in my form. I'm hitting the back harder.
Yep. It feels different, feels better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't feel like a noodle out there just flopping
Right.
around.
Right. So anything you're struggling with, because so far it's everything's girls is great.
Right.
But everybody struggles throughout the 10-week challenge and even after the 10-week challenge. So hopefully some other of our members will be listening to this, if not today, a little later. So what have you struggled with over these first 7 weeks that maybe we can help you out with?
I hate toe tappers.
That's funny.
I can't. I have a hard time with my legs in the air and reaching for them, and I'm like, this sucks.
That's funny because that's probably my favorite, like, easy thing to do for me.
That one was always brutal for me too.
Yeah.
Because I got really
you won't
long
touch your toes.
legs.
No, I can't.
I can barely do it.
It's true. I know, and I try not to like get too hard on people because I understand that I have short arms and legs, and I can do a toe tapper without even doing a crunch. Like, that's how short my legs are, and I'm flexible. So, like, I get it. I do. But then I always feel like attacked when we're supposed to do twist, and my short little elbows can't get back there because they're so short,
Yeah,
and
I
all the tall people are just boom, boom, boom.
That's true. There's
Right.
benefits, but
Yeah.
I will say, like, people like me will understand. It's not like I'm a giant or anything, but my legs make up about 3/4 of my height.
Right.
So anytime we got to do stretches like toe tappers, I'm like looking up at a tower, and I'm like, how? I can't reach those.
It's a shin, a knee tapper, shin tapper.
So yeah, I'm with Jeremy on that one. That one, there was an audible sigh when we got to the toe tap.
Now, if I'm holding the ball, I can get the ball to my toes.
Yes, that one I
Sure.
can do.
But without, I can't.
I don't use a ball when I do toe tappers because I literally would not move because that's how short my legs and arms are.
How's
Yeah.
nutrition going for you?
So not really good at tracking my nutrition.
And that, you know what? That's okay. Like, the fact that you're honest about it and just saying, I'm not really very good at tracking it, but it's not like you're not aligning your expectations up with how your expectations would be if you were tracking perfectly. So that's fine. That's real life. It's,
So with that, I have tracked some days. Like
Mhm.
to start out with, I was tracking probably for the first week and a half, 2 weeks,
Mhm.
and I wasn't eating enough.
Right, which is
And
very common.
I was blown away. Like, as I'm looking at this, and I'm like, I'm at 1,800 calories. I'm supposed to be at 24. I have to eat something, but I'm not hungry.
Mhm, mhm.
And so I followed the routine of breaking up into like 5 or 6 smaller meals and eating a little bit here and there. And it's crazy how, like I said, I don't feel hungry. But I will say, if I do miss one of those,
Mhm.
then I got to eat now.
Your body tells you quick. Yeah.
Ready.
I wish that there was some way that we could like bottle that and just show people, because we say that so much. Like, when people at that first couple weeks, too, Jeff, where people are like, I just cannot eat that much. And then you just want to, like, trust me, there will be a point, and it's usually about week 3, that you will miss a meal and you will know it, and you'll be like, wow, and people say it time and time and time again, but we all think that we're special, that doesn't apply to us, but it does. Like, I feel like every guy, especially that we've had on here from Farrell's, has said that exact same thing. Like, so it's true though, but it does, like, your body adapts to it.
So, funny story about that. When we went down to Kansas City, I think it was 3 weeks ago, we drove down there and, didn't take any snacks from the 3-hour drive. And we got there and I was like, oh, I got to get something to eat. I'm hungry. Got a little snack. Thanks. Grab some beef jerky or something at the gas station.
It wasn't Oklahoma Joe's.
No,
Oh.
I actually didn't make it to a single barbecue place when I was down there. I was a little frustrated.
Well, who needs to go to a barbecue
You're the
place?
grill master.
Right. I mean, what you get down
It's in
there is
you.
probably not as good as what you make at home, right?
You would have just been judging it the whole time.
Yeah, like
I
that
would have
makes-
done it this way.
That is a curse. I have a hard time eating a steak anywhere because I can do it better at home.
Mhm.
And yeah, my barbecue, it's pretty good.
Right. That's how I feel about Italian food.
It's the way I like it.
Yeah. Yep.
But so anyway, back to my story. We got checked into the hotel, and we my girlfriend and I decided, hey, let's walk around and check out this hotel because we're at the Lois in Kansas City,
Mhm.
pretty fancy hotel.
Mhm.
First time I ever been in a fancy hotel.
Okay.
So we walked around, we're checking it out, went and found the fitness center and the pool and stuff, and we're going up and down the elevator. Well, I had both the key cards, and I went to get in the elevator, and she ran out and went into another elevator. She's like, "Catch me if you can."
Right.
Well, to use those elevators, you have to have the key
Oh
card.
no.
So I was already going down, and I came back up, and I got to the floor, and she was gone. And I'm like, "What?"
So she was just stuck in the elevator?
No.
Oh.
So
She was trying to, yeah.
She got out, and she went down the stairs, and then she got out of the stairwell, and she was out on the street. And so she couldn't get back into the hotel without the key card. She had to walk
Oh,
all the way around.
no.
So all this happened, and I didn't have any cell reception, so I
Yeah.
couldn't get a hold of her. So I'm just sitting in the lobby. I'm like, well, she's got to come to the lobby eventually. Finally, we connect back to the lobby, and she's like, well, telling me this story, it's funny, and I'm like, yep, okay, we got to go eat because I'm hungry.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm just hungry.
Yeah, gotta eat.
Yep. It's been too long. Yeah, our bodies do adapt to that, and it likes fuel. Our bodies like food. We know that, but it also likes the fueling part about it. So yeah, planning is important.
And so another thing with the percentages, on the carbs and fats and protein. So prior to starting Barrels, she and I were doing some diet thing that she came across where, it watching the carbs,
Mhm.
trying to.
Oh, sure.
And so then when I came home and I showed her what we had to do, and she's like, "That many carbs? You told me we weren't supposed to eat carbs." Well, this one says we can.
Yeah,
I like it better.
Right.
I like it better. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I know. That's funny. So are you in a routine now? You're not tracking your food, but you settled into a routine.
Yep,
And that's what
I'm
matters.
in a routine.
Yeah.
And I know what the portion sizes are
Yeah.
that I should be eating. That was one of the biggest things when I started eating the small meals was
Mhm.
getting the portion size down because I knew I was going to be eating again.
Yeah.
But now it's not a challenge at all.
Well, and in fact, the most basic Farrell's nutrition, how it started 25 years ago, 20 years ago, was not calorie counting. It was portion sizes. It was 5 to 6 meals of a fist size of carbs and a palm size of protein, and that's what you would have, and you wouldn't have to log your food. So you're just doing it old school. That's all. You're just going back to old school.
All right.
But that's why we do provide a meal plan, but we don't recommend that you follow it exactly because we want you to have to be able to finally get away from having to track everything and just being more intuitive with your nutrition.
What's just going to work in your lifestyle.
Yeah. Yep. And so that you're just doing that, and that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And then you make a point where you're like, not seeing results, you're struggling, and then maybe you need to just buckle down and track your food a little bit and be like, oh, yep, that's kind of gotten away. You'll see it right away. What's gotten away from you? That usually with Jeff, it's when he starts to bring ice cream into his meal plan a little too much.
Culver's.
Yeah. And then you gotta buckle that down. You're like, oh yeah, no, you really think back. You're not logging it, but you think back and you're like, yeah, I did have ice cream a couple times last week. So yeah. That's where logging can be beneficial when you need to like refocus and then readjust and change things. So that's great. That's a great strategy.
Well, before we go to break, since you are the grill master,
yep,
I want to talk a little bit about steak.
All right.
Oh,
and I
you're
feel
not
like
going to want to be a part of this conversation.
okay, so I like to have my steak well done.
Order the chicken.
Not even well done. Like, so we're going to have steak for dinner
No,
tonight.
I can have medium well.
So you're okay with a little bit of pink?
A little bit,
But
yes.
not juice.
Okay.
He doesn't want it. Can't
But
be juicy.
our daughter likes her steak almost rare.
She likes it rare. Not almost. She likes it rare.
Like I don't know. I think it's because my dad always had his well done, right?
Okay.
So that's just that's what I got. Like I don't like that. It tastes good to me. Like
It's like beef
Jesus.
jerky.
It
it is no. I like a ribeye, and I like the the fat.
Don't
Just
ruin a ribeye.
He does. So he gets a ribeye if we eat sirloin, and I have to start his so much earlier than the rest of us. Like I start his.
I am
I
ordering
go
my
to
medium well now when we go to
Yeah.
eat because people just shame me and be like, well, they're gonna like don't order it well done, like right? Because
Yeah.
I'm afraid like they're gonna be like, no, we're not gonna cook this well done for you.
Like
So
we've
and
gone to Ruth's Chris before, and he's ordered a well done steak.
Oh my!
And you're spending a lot of money on that, and
and
then
you
just
know what?
overcooking
It's
it.
one of the best steaks that I've ever.
That was because of the butter. It wasn't because you're overcooked steak.
I
But yeah, I
imagine
have
the
to
chef
start his.
frowns when he has to throw those
They
on the
don't
grill.
like it.
And he's
They
like
don't.
watching it just get overdone. He's
They
like,
don't like it.
But see, if that's how I like it,
yeah, you're the customer. You're
Yeah.
gonna get your steak well
then,
done.
then
Yeah.
Customer's
like
always right.
if Jeremy was
Except it's
cooking
well-done
me a
steak.
steak, and I was like, hey man, I want this well done, right?
I would do it out of protest.
Yeah.
Because you're the one that's going to eat it. Yes.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I just like I don't know if the blood,
It's not blood.
It's
the
not blood.
juice creeps me out.
Yeah.
Like if I see a filet mignon, I'm like I can't. It's just like we watch Top Chef all the time, right? And when they make steaks, I'm just like there's no way I can eat that. I didn't think it's just maybe it's the look of it.
So have you tried it?
Yeah, he has.
I've tried like
Yeah. You'll eat like you've tried mine before.
I've tried it,
Yeah.
yes. But I don't know.
I like
it's just-
medium.
it-
I like just I'm very middle of the road with mine. I'm not too. Katie likes hers rare. Hers is literally like done.
yeah, see, I just can't.
Hers
I
are really
don't know.
easy to cook.
Yeah, I can't do that. If it's like
Yeah.
a ruby red, I'm out. I like a little bit of pink though.
See, I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
I've grown to medium well. Okay.
Medium
Okay.
well.
But I don't know. That's just how
I don't
am.
ever
Like,
have to worry about overcooking your steak.
sometimes I mean, yes, if it's overdone and it gets a little chewy. I don't like that, but
You just eat more ketchup with
I
it.
just don't want my
You ketchup with your steak?
listen, I do not have ketchup with my steak.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know about that.
I don't.
You have before.
No, I don't.
If it's done right, you don't.
I agree.
I just like mashed potatoes and steaks.
No,
My
that's
favorite
true. You
meal.
dip it in the.
But
You
see,
dip the steak
I
in the mashed
don't like the red. I don't like the red, the juice coming out and making my potatoes be red.
That's fair.
He's not going to give you his blessing. I don't know if that's what you're lady.
Maybe I just need Jeremy to cook me a steak
Yeah.
to how I'm supposed to eat it.
Yeah.
Before I pass judgment.
I could do that.
Maybe.
So
Right. So that might be what we need to do. But I knew he would be like anytime I
done
go to a
steak.
restaurant, order a steak well done. It's like I've been in a restaurant before where I
We
wanted.
don't usually go to like.
No,
we'll
no.
go to like Texas Roadhouse. I don't think
Yeah.
those chefs really.
They
Care.
don't really. They're not.
You're
like
just
that.
another ticket on the thing. I don't think they really.
I remember going to some Italian restaurant in San Francisco, and I looked at the menu, and I'm like, I can't eat any of this. Like I eat
He's
simple
super
things,
picky.
like 3 ingredients.
He tried
That's
to
it.
order bruschetta, but with just bread
I just wanted like garlic cheese bread
with cheese on it, and
without tomatoes or anything. They would not make it for me.
What?
Yes.
I'd like bruschetta, but none of the vegetables, none of the tomatoes, and just put cheese on it.
Can I just get cheese bread, please? They refuse to make it for me.
That was a fancy restaurant in
Fancy.
California.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? Like, yes, if I
You're
don't-
meant to be in Nebraska.
I am
Down
yes.
home,
Meat
cooking.
and potatoes.
Yep,
Yes,
meat and
that's what I
potatoes.
do. So,
No
all right. Well,
bruschetta.
we're going to go to break. We're going to talk a little Husker football with Jeremy when we get back because all of our guests who come into the ticket, we want to talk a little sports because we
Right
are
on.
a sports station. So, we're going to get his thoughts on our new coach in the upcoming season when we come back on Fitness Fanatics 93.7 The Ticket.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24 per hour, grows to $28.20. Trade position downstream with opportunities based on service. Continental also has salary eligible and benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
NASCAR is known for fast cars, roaring action, and big bucks. The Nebraska Lottery's NASCAR Powerball Playoff promotion features all, especially the bucks. Until May 30th, buy a Powerball ticket with Power Play or Double Play, enter the voucher number, and you could be one of 15 winners of $1,000 and a chance to win a VA trip to the NASCAR Cup Series Championship weekend. Enter today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Yes, the captain was ready to crash. Lester talked me off the ledge and told me, if you quit now, you're going to always be a quit. So you got to figure out what it's going to take for you to play. You know what it took? Me to talk to Zach Leager, Brandon Stein, Joe Wilt, Ron Zadisca, and Aaron Grant. And say, hey, fella, if I work out with y'all, and I couldn't lift the 120s dumbbell. I couldn't lift the 90s at the time. And I said, man, I don't care what it takes. I'm getting ready to get bigger, stronger, faster. So that when we get out there on that football field, them coaches got to play.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit asiaretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Can I go to the sleepover?
If there's any drinking, I want you to say, no thanks, not my thing.
Mom.
I promise you, your real friends won't care. Deal?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Don't let biased algorithms or degree screens or exclusive professional networks or stereotypes let anything keep you from discovering the half of the workforce which stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time to tear the paper ceiling and see the stars beyond it. Find out how you can make stars part of your talent strategy at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Mario fue pintor más de 30 años. Cuando me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijo que pintara el marco por dentro y el de afuera.
Yo le di a la gente, familia, lo que está pasando.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org diagonal nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de The Alzheimer's Association Council.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me, whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors. There's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
their age,
the way they speak. Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. We were just out there talking about some grilling techniques and cheeseburgers, and now I'm like really hungry.
No, we're having steak tonight, not cheeseburgers.
I'm
We
ready.
already talked
I'm
about
ready
it.
for that steak. Medium well, coming at me.
Okay.
Bob Evans mashed potatoes.
So Jeremy said 170 for well done. So maybe I'll check the temp and we'll do like
What about medium well?
150 for you.
What's my
to
internal
ease
temperature?
yourself in.
Probably 150.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go for a medium well steak
We'll
tonight
do a
for me,
150 on yours.
and we'll see
Mhm.
how I like it. I'll trust
Worst
the
case
expert.
scenario, just throw it back on there.
Yeah,
Just cook it some more.
It'll be okay.
You can't uncook a steak.
I know.
So
All right, so let's talk a little Husker football. We got about 5, 6, 7 minutes left here. What are your thoughts on our new coach, Matt Rule, so far?
So I like the things that I'm seeing and hearing about Matt Rule.
I'm detecting a little
The abused dog
well,
syndrome.
yeah, we
syndrome.
talked about
Yep.
that. Yes.
I agree.
I'm a scorned Husker fan.
As we all are.
I buy into the Kool-Aid, and come end of July, August, I'm gonna be rah.
Mhm.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, might as well.
We're going to the championships.
Oh, this
We
Oh,
already
yeah.
are. That's
You know,
already happening in our house.
Last year, going into or coming out of spring, I went to the spring game last year, and I was like everybody else. I think I told my girlfriend, I was like, let's leave. And like the end of the first
It was hard to
quarter,
watch.
It was
Yeah.
tough.
Yep, we were there too. Yeah.
And so I watched some of this year's spring game on TV. I wasn't able to go, but I was like, all right, this is physical.
Mhm.
As a Nebraska fan, like I want to see our Huskers win, but I want to see good football. I want to see physical football. I want to see
Players develop.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I think that is something that Matt Rule is going to bring back, given his track record. But I want to see it. I hear all the right things.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing the right things. I believe that he has an uphill battle, a big time uphill battle. To try to, and everybody is, every time something happens, it seems like, oh, this is the new savior of Nebraska football. Dylan Raiola is supposed to be the savior of Nebraska football. Who wants that?
I know. But I do think that maybe that's what's different, because he knows that he has the battle. He knows he's suiting up for battle. And I don't think that was the case with our last coach. I think he thought he was just going to be.
Thought he was going to throw in his system.
Right. Yeah.
The classic quote that came to bite him. The Big Ten's going to adjust to us.
Yeah.
Nope.
I feel like that's maybe was the key. So maybe this is what we need.
Well, and Harris and I talked about this last week a little bit about just, the players believing that they can win a close game where, Ben and I went to the Illinois game a couple years ago, and everything, it looked like the last 4 years of Nebraska football. And after the game, we're snake bit.
Yeah, you don't want to hear
I'm
that from
reading
your
the
head
same
coach.
book. So when the head guy is waiting for something bad to happen, guess who else is waiting for something bad to happen? All the players, and me and you and Harrison and Nicole and every other person, Nebraska fan, is just waiting for something bad to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But then look, when we had a new voice, one game into his tenure with Coach Joseph, we're tied going into the fourth quarter, and we win by 2 touchdowns.
Right.
And then the next week, we're losing 13-0 at halftime, and we win a second fourth quarter game. And then against Iowa, there we are, another 1-score game where we won like 3 of those, Or we
Almost
had
at
lost
Wisconsin too.
Yeah.
They a little ran away from us in the end there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So just having, a head coach that, believes in what he's doing is going to work, and instills that belief system in the players, because you could see, like, and I know in 2021 we lost a lot of close games, right? So it wasn't like the players just gave up. They, busted their butts. Every game had a chance to win every single game.
Best 3-9 team in history.
Right.
Yeah.
But just the difference that you saw when the new coach took over is now we're finishing those games.
Absolutely.
And we're believing that we can win those games. So
and you're always trying to, you would think you're trying to present your best case. And when your best case is we're snake bitten, what else are you saying behind closed doors? You're saying that, and that's your best foot forward. It's
it was
that's
so
rough.
bad.
Yeah.
And then they came out in the 3-man front. We didn't know what to do.
But we look to the future.
Oh,
Looking to the future.
We didn't prepare for that.
Oh, gosh. All right. Well, Jeremy, I'm glad we ended on a positive note today. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate you taking your time driving out here from Seward.
Yes,
I will
thank
see you in the morning for kickboxing class because I
Absolutely.
teach at 5 a.m. So
boy.
I'll see you then.
Let's get it on.
All right, you guys have a good week. We'll be
Thank
back
you.
in 2 weeks with a live show on June 11th.